All right, guys. We are now live. Welcome to the New York session. It's also the first trading period of the new month, so we are going to trade carefully. Let's give it a minute for a few people to join us, and then we would get started. So today now, I'm trying to be very careful around what I'm going to do with NASDAQ. All right, so I want to make sure that I do I take the best decision and all. Even though NASDAQ is actually at a demand level, but it's not looking the best to be looking for long-term buys right now on NASDAQ because of the war, the tension in the market right now. So let's see. So my expectation right now is I'm actually expecting that NASDAQ I'm expecting more sales. That's what I'm expecting. Even though we are at the demand zone, but I'm actually expecting a sell. So as soon as NASDAQ can start to give us a sell momentum, then I'm going to potentially maybe join the sell. But for now, it's buying, and anyway, even if it's buying, I can't buy again because the level where we are supposed to buy, price had already left that level. So now I'm going to be careful. And also because today is Monday, I would like to trade very carefully today. All right, so let's do the updates on the prop firm challenge itself. Okay, but before that, let me log into the equity hedge account so we can let me log into the equity hedge account. As of right now, NASDAQ is actually pulling up already, so maybe the demand zone is going to hold, who knows, but for how long, for how long is that going to do? All right, so let's switch back to this. All right, so I want to take you through the progress that we've had on the account, on the prop firm challenge itself. So what we've done last week, we were able to take 2 trades on the prop firm challenge. So 2 trades, and both of the trades were actually a loss. Anyway, it was supposed to be 1 trade, but because I split the lot size, I was supposed to use lot size 1, so I split it in half when I took the first trade. So it was a trade I was taking at the demand zone, right where, let's see. It was a trade I was taking at the demand zone that went straight to stop loss. Oh, the trade setup was missing. It's somewhere around here. I took the trade and then boom, it went straight to my stop loss. But anyway, it is what it is. Stop loss are not the end of the game. So potentially now this week we are looking for. By the way, we're supposed to make $200 to $50, but now we have to make $365. So we need a good trade setup in order for us to be able to make this money, and we are going to look for it. We're going to look for that trade. We're not going to rush it because there's no point in rushing it. And the thing right now is NASDAQ is actually selling, right? It's actually buying right now. At the open, it has already gone 200 points. Can you imagine? And NASDAQ has not done this before for a buy candle. Like, the volatility is there. Actually, the volatility is really, really there. But normally NASDAQ doesn't do this for buys. When NASDAQ is buying, it goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. So, but anyway, I'm looking for selling opportunity now. The opportunity for sell is actually there in NASDAQ. It's there because based on what's happening in the war with US, NASDAQ is a risk-off asset, right? It's not a safe haven like gold and US bond and treasury bonds that's mostly investors have already taken their money into. And because of the tension that is currently ongoing now within the US and the trade war itself, there is potential that price is going to investors are not going to long term put their money they're going to be, you know, just moving around their money into risk safe haven like gold and like that. So that's exactly why I'm thinking that positioning on the sell side might make sense. Although we're already missing out on the buy, because I'm not going to lie, NASDAQ is actually inside a demand zone. But this is also going to teach us, you know, to know how NASDAQ actually reacts to tensions, you know, like this. So what we'll do now is that let's be very patient. Let's see NASDAQ enter into a resistance level and watch the reaction. But honestly, the buy is so good. The buy is already almost 250 points. If we put the one lot on it, we would even pass a challenge with this. But now it means that NASDAQ would go and take the Asian high. And for NASDAQ to get to the Asian high, there is almost 100 points over there, right? And it can go and do that. And anyway, we're not going to scalp this. We're just going to wait, potentially wait. But NASDAQ is easily going to, you know, reach the top. Oh boy, but that's such a good move in less than 15 minutes already. 230 points already. I think NASDAQ is really like having big volatility today. Like the participation of buyer is there. It's moving the price up a lot and quicker. So it means that not much people are actually willing to sell at the moment right now. So the buyers are enough currently to keep pushing the price upward. And that's what's happening. But we need to watch. As soon as we start to see maybe like, you know, a sell pressure, it might just mean that, you know, the sell is coming. But I do believe that more sell is actually coming on the NASDAQ rather than the way the buy is currently going now. So I'm going to be looking to sell if NASDAQ should take, if NASDAQ should struggle after it takes the Asian high, or even after it takes the previous day high. If I start to see like a formation like this, I'm going to take the sell because it's very palpable that the sell might happen actually. It's very likely the sell might happen. Anyway, let's see. Or maybe I will not even take any trade today. Maybe. But let's give it a moment and see. The opening has a lot of pressure, which is it's something we don't see regularly for buy side on NASDAQ. For sell side on NASDAQ, yeah, it always moves this fast. So looking at S&P 500 on the other hand, it is it's doing similarly. Let me see US 30. Okay, US 30 on the other hand is actually within the Asian range, 50%. So let's switch back to NASDAQ and just watch what it is actually doing. So NASDAQ. Seems like NASDAQ is actually facing some sort of, let's call it micro resistance at this level. But it's hard to tell yet because this is still like the early behavior. But I'm expecting that there will be some sort of rejection, you know, from like this level. This is like a resistance level. Like I was saying, if you get NASDAQ to be reacting from a resistance level, like here now, it's already reacting to this. And the only thing now is that there's a previous day high over here. So if you have to take this sell, for example, the stop loss obviously has to be above the previous day high. And that's a lot of points. So I'm even thinking maybe we should just even hold off on any of this trade, because for you to take these trades, you have to be willing to risk a lot of money. And if you're not willing to risk a lot of money, then you have to use like a very small lot size, you know. So it's either you're willing to swing the trade or you are willing to risk more money. But nah. So we're gonna wait when the first 15 minutes candle close. When it finish, maybe we would see the potential direction. And after that 15 minutes as well, I'm gonna make a decision. I'm gonna make a quick decision today. I don't want to be putting my ideas in the markets today, because my idea is in two places. I'm expecting that there might be sales in the market, but as soon as the market opens, we started buying. Although we are respecting a resistance level, but it means that if I'm like having, you know, both ideas, okay, I can buy or I can sell. Obviously, I can't buy again because the price is not in the demand level again, so I can buy. I'm only looking for a sell opportunity, which is like, to me, sell opportunity is 50-50 right now. because and I also think that NASDAQ might be pushing a lot into the area just to fill up the gap. So I feel like NASDAQ is buying right now to fill up the gap that it's created on Sunday, because it created such a big gap. So I would only be selling after NASDAQ take out the Asian high. So if I'm going to be selling, I think what has to happen is that NASDAQ needs to take out the Asian high. If it takes out the Asian high, maybe even get a lot closer to the previous day high, then I think that might be like a good place to look for sell. Because right now, if you try and take a sell from here, there's still liquidity above the Asian high, which is possibly where people are putting their stop loss. And then there's another one which is the previous day high. So if we want to take a sell, the best place to put our stop loss is the previous day high, which is this level right here. So this is just a little bit above the previous day high, which is enough, like 20 points above the previous day high. So that would give us enough room to know that, okay, well, we put our stop loss in a good place, and if NASDAQ really wants to give us the best opportunity, it has to do it from that place. So if sell is going to happen, it has to happen at that top. If buy is going to happen, we need to wait again for market structure to change back again to bullish in our direction. And now, by the way, who is trading NASDAQ today? Because today is Monday too, let's make sure we trade carefully, low risk, patient, and everything like that. We just have to, be very patient with our trading, and it's going to be good. NASDAQ is NASDAQ is formed out of 100 top 100 US companies, right? So the way the formation is the average weight of all the top 100 US companies, right, by performance. So what they do now is that because the performance is measured by how well the companies are doing. Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, Microsoft, Meta, and Google. These are like the tops. And based on what these people are actually doing, the world is ongoing right now. If the price of oil, especially the Brent oil, keeps going higher and higher, it's going to affect the manufacturing, it's going to affect distribution, it's going to affect transportation of goods and all, which technically is going to affect the bottom line of stocks. And that means that investors of US indices like NAS 100 that we are trading, they will want to take off some risk off of things like NASDAQ and take it to potentially like gold or US bond, and potentially because those particular markets tends to give you longer gains on the return. So that means that this year we might actually see gold rallying a lot more, because if war keeps happening and people are buying gold more and more and more, that means that there is potential for gold price to keep increasing again and again and again and again and again. And we want to make sure that we trade very carefully and all right. For example, let's take a look at gold. We're not trading gold, just to take a look at it. You see, gold right now, gold created a gap up when we started the day. It created a gap and even created a new all-time high. Let me check that. Is that true? Is it the all-time high? No, not the new all-time high. So we didn't create a new all-time high. That's incorrect. So what happened is gold is potentially going to go and retest the all-time high potentially soon. Like if the narration doesn't quickly change with the war that is ongoing, then potentially gold can rally, because now it's at a support level where more and more people can actually buy gold, right? So I believe that somewhere around here is a support level for people to actually come and buy gold. And you can already see the early rejection that is already around it, which is near it. But obviously, I'm not trading gold right now. And let me just go back to NASDAQ. All right, so the first 15 minutes candle has closed on NASDAQ. So with the way it's closed right now, I believe that NASDAQ has the potential to reach the previous day high. After it reaches the previous day high, then we're going to come back here to make a decision. Okay, but for now, we are going to do nothing. We're just going to be waiting for NASDAQ to reach that level. If it reaches that level, if we start to see a sell pressure, a sell momentum, we're going to give it a short at that level, and then we're going to give it a trade. So for now, let's wait. The prop firm account, the challenge is still it's still what it is. 2 trades. Obviously, we're in drawdown, but drawdown doesn't last long. We're going to come out of it, and we are going to come out on top. So on the next trade, I'm going to be risking only 1% of the account, which is basically $50. If I can get a 1 to 4 risk to reward trade off of that, that would be so insane. So imagine you're risking $50 and then you're making times 4, meaning you're making $200, right? So now I need to reduce the down size of the account itself. I cannot risk $100 right now, just 2%, because I'm already in drawdown. So the more I go in drawdown, the more I need to reduce the risk by 50%. Okay, so that as soon as I get out of the drawdown, then I can increase by my risk to like 2% and then take even bigger trades. So right now, instead of 2 trades, potentially, it looks like we might be needing to take 2 more or 3 more trades in order to actually pass the phase 2. And we're going to do it. We're going to smash it. We just have to give it the patience that it requires. And we are going to smash the phase 2 as well. One of the things that is very hard in trading is when you're trading something like prop firm, especially when you already passed something like a phase 1, there's a way you feel when you are trading the phase 2. The phase 2 target is very small, but you start to feel a kind of a psychological pressure, like, oh, will I pass, will I not pass, but if you just stay calm and trade it the same way that you actually trade when you were starting out the challenge itself, you have a better opportunity, a better chance of actually smashing it as well and then passing it again. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to trade non-worry and all. I know that my strategy, I can have 3 stop losses in a row, but I'm still going to come out on top. Based on my strategy and my back testing, I know that from my data, I can have 3 losses in a row. I have had 4 losses in a row, and my account will still be fine, because the approach now is that for every losses I get into, I need to reduce my risk, so that I need to first recover back out of the loss I'm in, and then now go back to using standard risk. There are some challenges I do that I use a fixed risk, like a fixed 1% risk. It doesn't matter either I'm in drawdown, I'm not in drawdown. I just always use 1% risk. But but anyway, on this challenge is a different case. We are going to be using standard risk and then reduced risk whenever we are in drawdown. So NASDAQ is just going to go for the Asian high. Not only the Asian high, I think it's also going to go for the previous day high. So with that, we would then potentially wait. So now we're just waiting, guys. We are just waiting, guys. We are waiting. We are waiting for NASDAQ. Oh, it's quite boring today. Like, I've just been watching the news that's happening. The US news, basically. I've been watching the news. And, outside of trading, guys, I'm a software engineer, right? So I have a SaaS company, a software as a service that I'm actually running on the side. So whenever I'm not actually, active on the chat, I just do my software business and all, right? So if you want to check it out, it's called People Wisher, right? So basically, it's a software that businesses use to send birthday greetings to their customers. And you can also just, anytime check it out, use it in your organization. For now, it's free for most users. You can use it for free for up to 100 of your customers. Send birthday greetings to your customers automatically. Everything just goes automatically. We're working on the version 2, which should be launched this year. And we're also launching the company behind the project itself. But anyway, back to trading. NASDAQ is doing what it's doing. So as I was saying, whenever I'm not like actively trading, I'm actively working on my software, or just actively doing something. So that it's very important that you do something, especially when you're trading, because trading, profitable trading is boring. You don't really have to do anything most of the time. Once you look, for example, look, I come here only at New York session to trade. I come at London session to just do analysis. And I'm looking for specific scenarios every single time to happen. And if they happen, I take the trade. Win or loss, it doesn't really matter. But I've known that based on the data I've collected over 100+ trade, that I tend to make more money on the long term. And sometimes I also, if I let the trade really run, I catch a very good risk to reward, So anytime I'm risking one, sometimes I can make 3, I can make 4 rewards out of it, out of a trade. So I know that I have an hedge, and the fact that I also only stick with NASDAQ alone also gives me like another hedge on its own. So I look at NASDAQ alone, so I'm already aware of how it moves, what it tries to do, you know, stuff like that. For example, I already predicted, anyway, but I didn't share this. The fact that at the Asian range, NASDAQ dropped about 400 points, and at London session, it break out and rejected back immediately inside it. I already knew that, okay, potentially NASDAQ is going to go for the previous day high of you know, but I just, because it didn't happen at New York session, I didn't take the trade. Obviously, these are good trades to take, but for right now, I'm still trying to build a lot of capital, you know, trying to also reach like, you know, 7-figure payout, 6-figure payout, 7-figure payout, and eventually, have big personal accounts I can start taking trades. When I reach that level, I can take trades in London session and all, but for now, I'm trying to build a certain type of discipline that is going to allow me to, you know, increase my chances of always winning my trade, right? So, and that's why I stick to trading the New York session alone. So right now, it looks like we're facing rejection already but let's wait for the current 15 minutes candle to close, because it's been taking time to go and break the high. And normally, if we want to break a high, like a liquidity area, price always goes like quicker. Now, what's also potentially happening is that the participants knows that everyone is expecting a sell off on NASDAQ. So they're trying to accumulate more trade around this area, okay? So more trades are being accumulated around this resistance level. But for me, I'm not going to engage a sell from this level, because I might be a liquidity. I might just be providing liquidity to the market. Because if you see what's happening, okay, let me take that out. Let me shift this like this. Around this level right here, there is a resistance level there. It's a potential resistance level, right? And it's also nested inside where the sharp drop off started happening on NASDAQ yesterday when market opened. You notice that from here, right, if you look to the left, you see this strong red candle that goes all the way down. That candle that you see is actually, you know, it's people reducing their positions and stuff like that on NASDAQ, right? And then there was like a sharp sell-off. So this is now the area that is acting as a resistance level. But there is actually a lot more liquidity above it, because obviously people who want to start selling from here right now, they're going to put their stop loss above this level, right? Which is like a good liquidity for people who want to sell. So what can happen is that we'll see more buyer reaction. You know, buyers are going to see an equal side liquidity by taking the trade a little bit up onto this stop loss area, and maybe even into the previous day high, and they can remove their hand from the market. Sellers can now step in, right? Because now there's equal opportunity for them to take the opposite side of the trade of the buyers, and then the price can start tanking down. And if NASDAQ is going to sell today, eventually it's going to be so fast that I need to go deeper. That's like what I'm expecting, Sha. That's basically what I am expecting. So I'm going to be positioning at the top. I'm going to be positioning at the previous day high and the previous day high level. Let me just put an alert over there. Obviously, this session is going to close in the next 6 minutes by 4 o'clock Nigerian time, because now we've been here for like about 30 minutes and we've not seen any opportunity. So to reduce how much decision we have to make, it's best to just like go away and then come back, or set an alert. When price hits your level, you get the notification, and then you can potentially now wait for action. So I'm going to put an alert right over here. Hopefully price is going to get there, and if it does get there, then it might present us with a good opportunity. Then I've also noticed one thing in trading NASDAQ, that anytime I'm trying to trade and I don't get a trade between the first 40 minutes or the first 30 minutes, the first 30 minutes of 40 minutes of the market open, then the next one is about, so that's, let me calculate the time, 3, 5, 6. So it's like 2 hours 30 minutes later I might get a, like, that's just what I've actually, you know, noticed. in this past month, especially in February. That's exactly what I have noticed that NASDAQ does. If I don't get an entry at the first 30 minutes of New York session, I get to get an entry, let's say like 2.5 hours later or about 3 hours later. So that's also something that I might do today. If I don't get an entry now, I'm just gonna wait and see if I'm gonna be getting an entry maybe later on. Okay, and with that, and honestly, if NASDAQ should leave us alone from here, if the resistance is strong enough, they can just start selling and selling and selling without even waiting for us. So, but in both scenarios, we're not going to do anything in NASDAQ in any of these regions. Okay. All right, guys. I think that's gonna be it for now. Let's just wait for 4 more minutes and see how this candle wants to close. Then we would call it a day. By the way, if you're trading NASDAQ, what are your expectations today, or any other assets that you're actually trading? What are your expectations? Are you potentially buying? Are you selling? What are you trading? Put it in the comment section and let's chat. Alrighty. All right, so we've got 3 more minutes and we'll potentially call it a day. Let me check on the S&P 500. S&P 500 will definitely go for the Asian high and take it out. NAS 100 on the other side is still doing its thing. Yeah, NAS 100 is still doing its thing, still going. By the way, have you noticed that NAS 100, NASDAQ has different names across multiple broker. Some call it US 100, US Tech. The personal broker that I use, XNice, they call it US Tech. Equity Hedge, the prop firm, they call it US 100. I'm trading NAS 100 analysis on TradingView. Also, funding pips, they call it NQ100, stuff like that. And a lot of pairs, a lot of companies just call it almost similar name. That is just the way they like. I think they are just trying to be like unique, or trying to just not copy each other. So right. Yep. Oh, and another reason why they do that is to make it hard for people to copy trade and stuff like that. You know how if the symbol is the same between your two brokers, let's say XNES call it US Tech, and let's say Equity Edge call it US Tech as well. If you have copy trades turned on, it's just easy, easy effort, right? So I think that's just one of the other reasons, Sha. All right, we've got 2 more minutes and the market is going to close. When this happens, we are going to call it a day. 1 more minute. All right, guys, let's call it a day. It seems like the current 15 minutes candle is just going to stay here. And this type of formation is good. Sometimes it happens to be a continuation of formation, whereby at an area of resistance, price will slow down, and then it will eventually now get a follow-through push. And when this happens, we have to potentially be monitoring the chart so we can know which direction they are trying to break into. If they are trying to go up, we should be able to get a sell from the top. If they're trying to go down, hopefully we can get an entry. If not, we'll see each other again tomorrow. With that said, all right, guys, I'm going to update everyone on the Telegram channel. Make sure you join the Telegram channel. The link is in the description of the video, and it's really straightforward. Would love to make sure that in the community we share as much as possible trading information with each other, so that we can all go from 0 to 1 in our trading journey. We can all start to make all the profitable trades that we want to make. All right, with that said, happy and safe trading, everyone. It's Monday. Trade safe and protect your capital. And I'll see you tomorrow, London session analysis. Bye-bye for now.